Check, check. Checkity check. I hope the menus are going to disappear. Just bear with me as I check the stream on another device. Okay, check, check. Okay. I'm not sure if this the stream will last or hold for the remainder of the flight. But we'll give it a try. Before we start our descent, let's just refresh the weather reports. So we're going into BGGH with BIKF as one of our alternates. BGSF is the primary alternate. So, I mean, this is pretty much what the weather has been for the past hour or so. Just a few clouds at 3,000. And even this airport, which isn't too far, okay, is showing scattered, so it's picked up a bit there. But yeah, still at BGGH, we've only had a few clouds. And I mean, it looks like we've got overcast as far as the eye can see, and we're about to start a descent, so this might be interesting. Not to mention that the FMC of this aircraft doesn't seem to have accurate or the updated instrument approach procedures, so we might have to manually input that into the system. There doesn't appear to be a VOR in the vicinity of our airport, so I can't even use a VOR or DME. Just an NDB. We're still a fair distance from our destination. Probably about 200 miles out still. Oh, look at this. It says runway 22 is too short. Now, that's probably, again, because it doesn't have accurate arrival information. As it thinks the runway length is 930 meters, which is not the case. We can actually look it up here on the chart. I'm using the tablet here in front of me, but we can look it up for your benefit here on the actual EFB within the aircraft. There. It's more than 3 times the length of what it thinks it is. So it's going to say too short, which is to say that we're probably not going to be able to use the BTV function. Let's see if we can load it up. It's going to kill the frames for a couple of minutes, so just, again, bear with me. Let's see if it will pull up the airport chart. It's not looking good. Normally it's at least telling me if it's loading something. And it doesn't appear to be doing so. Oh, okay. I don't normally have to select it, but I don't know why. It doesn't have an ILS, it has a localizer for this runway. But the frequency is still the same, 10895. Course is 222. But the length is incorrect. I wonder if I can actually, I don't think I can update that. It's really struggling with the downloading of this information. I hope the stream is still going. I think it's given up. It doesn't want to load the information. trying to tell me it's not in the database, so we're going to just put it out of its misery and tell it to stop worrying about it. And we're going to go old school and use medium braking. I don't know how else to update it. So it's going to be braking medium until I take over manually. So for what it's worth, arrival information has been entered. We can go ahead and input the approach information here. So the weather is 210 at 4, so it's basically calm. Oh, oops. 210 at 4. The outside air temperature is 7 degrees. QNH is 1013. And the minimum, so we're going to be using the chart that I have in my Navigraph here. Oh, we can also look it up here. So minimums would be landing minimum C114A. That's the first. Seems they don't have a category for us. I believe this is a category E aircraft. Class, whatever they call it. So we'll take the highest decision height here. We'll take 910. So there we go. That's the arrival information. UREF is a low 127, so and plus the runway is not 900 meters, so we should make the intended taxiway, which is about 3/4 of the way down the runway, and puts us straight in front of the arrival terminal. So I'm just going to look around at MSAs here. There's no arrivals, so looks like 10,900, 11,200. So our route that we are planning on flying in for the approach, the highest altitude is 11,200. So we'll take us down to 12,000. I didn't tell you to descend yet. What are you doing? Oh wow, look at that. The cloud is actually clearing up ahead of us, so looks like we'll have some decent visibility. This weather might actually be coming towards our destination, judging by the winds, up here at least. She's been behaving strangely today. Only the auto throttle's automatically engaged when you set the aircraft up for its first flight. But after takeoff, I didn't notice that the auto throttle had been disengaged, and for the entire climb period, and actually for an embarrassingly large part of the cruise, I couldn't figure out why she wasn't holding her target speed. Until eventually I thought to check to see if the auto throttle was engaged, and it wasn't. Strange that it wouldn't. You would think it would have a little ECAS message here, or ECAM message. I mean, it does, but it only hangs around for like a few seconds and then this disappears, so not sure what to make of that. But even now I feel like autopilot isn't behaving like it normally does, and I've been flying her for quite some time. Not sure what's happening here. Should look something like this. It's also an interesting descent profile because at 1,000 feet per minute, the descent path should be catching up to us, and we're actually outrunning it, so we're out descending it. So approach information has been inputted into the flight management system. We've noted the warning here that the runway is too short. But we acknowledge that that is due to the fact that it thinks the runway is only 930 meters long, which is very, very incorrect. It's probably at least twice, if memory serves, I can't remember now, what was it? It's at least twice the length. Anyways. Shouldn't be a problem. As far as I know, all it means is that we're not going to be able to use the PTV function. So we'll be with manual auto brakes, I mean medium auto brakes, with the option to take over with manual braking should it be required. You can now see that we are catching up to the descent path here, or rather it's catching up to us. So the aircraft will start descending considerably faster pretty soon. I'm going to glance out at the wings just to check just to see if there is any turbulence. Yep, there we go. I caught up to the descent path, so hopefully this will result in an idle descent. So there we go, the engines have gone to idle, and we're pitching down now. Essentially chasing this little green dot. I'm excited to see the airport. Apparently it's on sort of a I don't know if they carved it out the side of a mountain or if it was just artificially elevated to make it more level. Either way, it's like sort of part of the runway is like an outcropping, but we'll see. We'll likely see. Well, to be honest, I don't know which side of the runway. Which side of the runway that is. I have a feeling it's not on the side that we'll be landing on. Very strange, because here, if I sync with the FMS, it has... Oh, that's feet. I guess the data is just incorrect. So brake will be manual. Pretty much everything will be manual. I think the issue is this. It's misinterpreting the feet. This is supposed to be feet. I mean, this is essentially the meters, not the feet. So 7218 is the value. This thing says we'll be landing well within limits here. I don't know. Or is this? This is meant to be meters. So we're supposed to put in the... Yeah, but then why does it... I don't know why it has it incorrect in the FMC. There we go. So like I said, about 3/4 of the runway, making it possible that we might make the final exit. But that will depend on how soon I manage to touch down. So, because the Q&H is the same as standard, so I'm just going to go and put it into the, take it out of the standard mode and just put it as 1013. Doing all right here for the descent. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Let's do the checklist. Approach checklist, power reference. Yeah, we might as well get the seatbelts on. Minimums in, runway conditions in, auto brake, wheel place on, and that is set to medium. Oh, that's a brake fan, my bad. There we go. Brake medium. Checklist complete. I believe the next one is the landing checklist itself. Yeah. Leave that one for later. All right, let's enjoy the scenery here. We've cleared the cloud layer. You can see much of the fjords here are still frozen over. Looks really cool. Imagine flying here in real life. All right, it's essentially our final turn before we intercept the ILS. Are we accelerating? We are a bit low, but according to this thing, we are on profile. Looks like it plans on spending a bit of time there to decelerate, so we'll let it continue. We'll continue to trust it as we make our way below 15,000 feet. I'm getting a sense that it's a bit bouncy. Bumpy. No? Alright, we should have to check for this, but I'm going to anyways. I just want to make sure that we are above our maximum landing weight. This is beautiful. Max landing weight is 207 tons. Our current gross weight is 179.1, so we're well underneath the maximum landing weight. Reached 12,000. I just want to check the charts here to make sure that we are good to descend further. Visually it looks like it, but what it looks like for this part of the flight, we can manage to descend wouldn't want to go much further than 8.7, so let's go down to 9. We just got to keep an eye out on things here. This thing's probably going to nosedive, so let's rather manually set the descent rate here. And yeah, let's get the speed down to 240, 250-ish. Back up with the profile, so we're going to go manage speed and that. Might level off now a little just to reduce speed to 250 knots. Look at this, man. This looks so cool. I think yesterday I took off from the Middle East, and now we're in some of the most northern territories of the world. Let's jump over back onto the ILS approach here. Initially 4,400, so let's set that. We're going to continue, or allow it to continue further based on the fact that we can see out the window. That should be safe to continue further. Actually, you know what? Let's cap it at like, I think 6 for now. Still a decent ways away from the airport. Don't want to get too low. Such an interesting landscape. All right, so landing lights, I turned those on as we're passing below 10,000 feet. This looks like the few layer of cloud mentioned in the weather report. We're loading in some textures here. My internet's not great. I use communal internet, and it's weekend. So I can guarantee I'm not the only one taking up bandwidth here. I may actually just be talking to myself right now, as lately the streams have just cut. They don't. It's getting a little bumpy now. But I think the internet connection is so unstable that the streams tend to cut out like minutes after starting. So I might have to get my own internet. I don't know. And that's why I haven't been streaming. If there is actually anyone curious, looks like we're doing good. So auto brakes are on. I'm gonna arm the speed brakes. I don't think I'm gonna need them. All right, we're gonna continue down to that 4,000. What was it? 4,400. Be there by GH22, I believe that's India, but I don't think we have that. You see, even the waypoints are not according to the chart, so this is definitely old information. Check how cool that is, dude. Got some forests down there, it's snow-covered hills. This is really cool. Look at that, man. Gorgeous. Snow-covered peaks. All right. Let us take over here. I need to start slowing down. I'm getting a bit nervous. I'm coming in too fast. You also have to remember that the glide slope is a bit steeper than normal, which is why I want to make sure I'm going to be configured in time. Wait, that was the right one. So let's continue down further to 3,000 feet and level off there. And we can, yeah, there's definitely, it's clear, no terrain between me and the airport right now. So we're going to continue down to our final approach altitude of 3,000. I'm going to hang around there, allow the airplane to decelerate without having to use the brakes. I don't know how you pronounce this. I guess it's Nuuk, right? So Nuuk is about what? About well, it's coming up to 15. So we're gonna go Nuuk traffic, Edelweiss 414 heavy is 15 miles. Goodness, I didn't check. We are northeast. Nuuk traffic, Edelweiss 414, we are 15 miles east of the field, descending through 4,000 feet. For the ILS approach runway 22. We'll report established on the ILS next. Nuuk traffic. All right. So we've announced our intentions. We've sped up considerably. Hopefully, the bit of time that we have at this altitude now, as that we're going to level out at, is going to allow us enough time to slow down. That's the other thing I wanted to check to see how much fuel I have. Should be fine. We're going to go ahead and... Why is it saying FLS? Is that not... Oh, you know what? I wonder if it's going to track. Let's go with lock. You see, it's flight path. It's not picking up an ILS. This might be a problem. It should be good to bring down flaps, right? So flaps coming down. Yep, speed's good. So with this being FLS, like it's just a flight path, we're going to go ahead and arm the approach and come down to 180 now. Initial flap setting has been set. Checklist will be the landing checklist next. Runway is in sight, dead ahead. I need to get my controls in position here. No judgment. I've been struggling to land this thing properly for a while now. Okay, wait. The thing we need to do here is go to performance, make sure the approach has been armed. It has. Gear coming down. And we're going to put on the rest of the landing lights. Let the people in the back know we are committed to landing. Everything else is looking good over there.
2,500.
Gear's traveling. Bring down the next bit of flaps. Love that sound. This approach altitude, I believe, was 3,000. Just because I'm unfamiliar with the airspace, we're going to make it 5 just to give ourselves some extra clearance. Last bit of flaps, or is this flaps 3? Flaps 3, so we're going to wait for flaps full. Okay, speed checks, flaps full coming down. All right, mental checklist, gear flaps are down, green lights. The spoilers and the auto brakes are armed. We have auto brake medium. We are on the approach here, waiting for us to stabilize. We are stable. Landing checklist is complete. I'm going to take over manual control just to get a feel for what's going on outside with the aircraft. Autopilot coming off. All right, wish me luck. Don't judge. This is probably going to be a really hard landing. While it's not 900 meters, it's still on the shorter side. Excuse me as I stop talking to concentrate here.
1,000.
I feel like we're quite high.
minimum,
Continue. Runways in sight. I really do feel like we're really high. I think we're really high. We're gonna have to maybe go around here. I don't feel perfectly stable. No, I think we're too high, man. I don't know why this thing brought us too high. Yeah, we're gonna go around. Alright, going around.
500, 400, 300, 200,
Autopilot on so I can do the co-pilot-y stuff. Some sightseeing. I hope the autopilot's doing the right thing. Alright, let's fly the plane here properly. Climb power coming in. There it is. Like I said, we're going to climb up to 5,000 just to make sure we clear all the traffic, terrain. 5,000 is coming up. I'm going to bring the flaps down, up now. Very interesting missed approach procedure. Looks like she's going to accelerate to 250, so we're going to bring the flaps up now. Coming up. Let's cap it at 230. Give the flaps enough time to retract, but it looks like they're retracted, so should be good to go. Alright, we're just going to put ourselves on a downwind, and you know what, I'm going to come in, let's do a visual approach. Turn that LS thing off. Put ourselves on a downwind of a heading of 042. The traffic, a device 414 heavy, going around runway 22. We'll report on the final approach next. No traffic. Okay. This thing catch up to me so quick. Scroll rate on this thing is so slow. Alright, that's good enough. Keeping it at 230. So 1013. Let's just get an update on the weather as we wait for the next bit of weather to come in here. Update all. We're going to just do the off the takeoff checks here. So gears up, flaps are up, water brakes are off. We're going to disarm the spoilers just for now. And yeah, lights can stay on as they are. Go to 210 and we're just going to do flaps 1. Very bumpy now. Alright, so only the slats are going to come out. And then we're going to go down to 3,000 feet for now. Idle descent. This doesn't seem right. 040. Are we really on a downwind? Look how cool this terrain is. I definitely plan on exploring a little bit later after this flight. So yeah, we're going to be flying visually here. It's inconvenient to be doing a right-hand circuit. Is what it is. Yeah, the approach information for this airport in the flight management system is definitely outdated. Rolling on for 3,000. Terrain situation looks good out the window for now. We're good to start downwind now. And that sucks to see. That's going to be at about 130-ish. Yeah, 40 plus 90 is 130. All right, I'm going to configure somewhat for landing here. I'm going to turn off the flight director. Sorry, that's not the flight director. That's the flight director. We want this guy, the birdie, whatever they call it. Is that the birdie? That's the birdie. And bring down next bit of flaps. Bring down the gear. Arm this water brakes. Goodness, that's loud. Is that louder than before? And we're gonna go in manually. Autopilot disconnected. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Let's arm the... Why is it so loud? Let's activate the approach. Alright. And we're gonna go manage speed here. Bring the flaps down as needed. Turn in a bit early because we're a little bit far out. We're not flying a fighter jet. I'm gonna have to throw her into a right-hand turn. All right, let's go down here. Gotta do some altitude. There we go. For lateral guidance, we'll have the flight path on the ND over there. Still feel like we're quite high. Let's bring in the next bit of flaps. Did we not descend to 3,000? How am I only going through 3,000 again now? Very strange. I think we can start turning. Easy does it. I don't know why I'm so aggressive. I can round up and turn a little bit more. I want to see the airport.
2,500.
Last bit of flaps coming in now. Gear down, flaps down. Auto brakes and spoilers are armed. There's the runway. Feeling a bit better about our height, maybe a bit low now. Got a slight crosswind from the left. Nuuk traffic, 8 of ice, 414 heavy, final approach runway 22. Nuuk traffic. Like we're a bit low, but rather that than high, because we can at least maintain this altitude until we get to more comfortable descent angle here. What's this little warning out I'm getting? Auto flight, autopilot off. Yeah, we know that. So let's just clear that. Not the most safest way to be clearing a message. Oh my goodness, and now we're high again. Take my eyes off the road for 1 second. Bring the descent rate back below 1,000 feet per minute. I think we're okay. I'm feeling comfortable with this. Pitch up a little bit. Got the touchdown markers in sight. I can't help it, we have to look around a little bit. There, drifting a bit left, but we still have a bit of a left crosswind. So we're going to keep those touchdown markers. We're stable. Descent rate's still good. Continuing. Waiting for minimums.
Minimum.
There they are. Continue. I feel like we are a little bit high again. I feel like it's the visual, like it's an illusion created by the fact that the airport is actually much higher off the water than it seems. So we're going to keep those touchdown markers in the same spot in the windshield. I think, yeah, it's a bit of an illusion, optical illusion here. Just keep it going like it is. I think we'll be good. Descent rate is still a bit high. Keep in mind when we do the flare.
400, 300, 200.
I'm going to round out a little bit early.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
Cutting the power.
10,
flaring, flaring,
5,
flaring. Oh, it's a bit delayed. I think we'll have enough runway, hopefully. 2 reversers. We are decelerating. Reversers are green. Alright. Water brakes off. Coming out of the reversers. Yeah, we landed a bit late there, so we missed our exit. At least we didn't run out of runway. Reversers are stowed. Welcome to Nuuk, Greenland. Was a bit of a floater, but I'd rather floater than sinker. Sounded better in my head. All right, so we went. It's actually kind of scary. We should have our cheat cameras like the real pilots do. Oh, but we can't actually see the. I hope we're clearing the wings. Slow it down a little bit more here so we can make this turn as tight as we can. Welcome, welcome. I think we need to do a little bit of power on the left engine just to help push us over. There she goes. Looks like the nose wheel might be off, but it's not. It's full of optical illusions today. Get ourselves back onto the center line here. Let's do the 2-minute cooldown for the engine there, counter. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the APU. Wait for the door open sign. There it is. Turn that on. And we're going to go ahead and clean the aircraft up here. Bring it all in. And yeah, as per the charts that I was looking at earlier, we're going to try for 1 or 2, bay 1 or 2. Keep your eyes on the road, buddy. So yeah, she's going to be difficult to keep the speed under control here because we're quite light now with all the fuel that we burned. I also just want to bring this to standby. Come on, there we go. All right, gonna take this turn carefully to make sure we don't drag a wheel across the dirt. Look at that. What a cool, exotic place to be. So I'm going to bring us to a stop here just so I can figure out where it is that we're going to park. Also just want to make sure that we have all our radars turned off, bright lights and whatnot. So strobes come off, that comes off, that can stay on. That's good as it is. Did we put everything to standby? Looks like it. We're cleaned up. Yeah, I think this is really the only option for us. On the diagram, it looks like we may have been able to squeeze in here, and we might, but we're not coming out of that. So yeah, we're gonna have to come head straight to stand 1 over here. It's been 2 minutes. Wait for the 3-minute mark, and then we can actually turn one of the engines off just to make her less powerful. There we go. So I'm gonna turn number 2 off because we're gonna use number 1 to help turn us to the right here. Oh, you know what? Forgot to do. Let's see. Can I still activate this parking bay? Let's do 1 here. Here are all our equipment things waiting for us. Let's use the G-cam again, something that they would have in reality. Got our guy guiding us there. Very easy to oversteer with this view, I've noticed. For the tongs to come together, and there they are. Brakes on, and he says we can cut the engines. APU is running, so we can cut the engines without worrying about losing power. Going to the APU bleed there just for the AC. Otherwise, that is it. Oh wow, he actually directed me really well. Oh, that taxi light, should have turned it off before facing him. Did he just do the Gangnam style? I think we missed it. I think we missed it. Alright, anyways, let's turn off all the seatbelt signs and whatnot. Mobile phones. Emergency exit lights we can disarm. I'm doing that a little bit early, but whatever. Fuel pump's coming off. And let's get ground equipment in place here. So the trucks are in place. GPU can come online. And yeah, we've toggled all the doors, or the slides have been disarmed. So let's trigger the deboarding process here. Okay, let's get ourselves behind the fence here. All right, so be considerate to the surrounding town or neighborhood or whatever. We're gonna turn off the APU. Before we can do that, we come over onto the external power generator. We're gonna say there isn't an air conditioner, portable air conditioner available at this airport for this kind of aircraft, so we're gonna just have to go without air conditioning. Should be fine because it's still quite cold out here, so it shouldn't need the air conditioning. And that's it. I really hope that the stream continued to broadcast for the remainder of the flight. Ah, that looks awesome. That looks so cool. I love the red, Air Greenland red matching, or not really matching, but like the red and the white. It's all nicely color coordinated. Beautiful livery. It's really cool to see an Edelweiss wherever you are in the world. Was that aircraft there? Or is there someone else at the airport? I don't want to swap windows now just in case it's going to mess with the stream. Right, well, thanks to anyone that might have joined me for this interesting approach into Greenland. I hope to stream more in the future as I try and figure out a solution to this unstable internet connection of mine. I've also been using this lossless scaling software, which improves the frame rates. But initially I noticed that it wouldn't translate into the OBS recording. I think I may have figured out how to do it now. That's part of the reason I decided to stream today. So hopefully more in the future. And until then, see you next time.